trying to make people's life livable and more inspiring using essential color, essential information, and essential ingredients. And we will see how that sort of interweaves into the Color Future 2017 when a little later Mr. Jeremy Rowe, our new Managing Director for Southeast South Asia and Middle East, comes and talks to us. One of the things that we in the background for people who are the first time to this. Um, we're one of the largest global paints and coatings companies, so we get asked a lot of questions about color. Color's integral to the category of paints. We get asked questions like, what's the most popular color? What's going to be the trending color? And 14 years ago, we started to answer that second question. What's the trending color going to be? That's what Color Futures is. It's a look at what we think is coming up in the terms of the use of color. Now, that sounds like a simple thing, but we don't just pluck it out of the air. We have a particular process and a particular way of doing that. And as Rajiv suggested, that involves a group of people called our Global Aesthetics Center. Now, while they're based in Amsterdam, it's a global group that takes input from across the whole of the world, and not just input from paints. We include people who are involved in interior design, industrial design, fashion, and lots of other parts of the world. And we go out and try and find what colors are trending. So we don't try and invent a trend. That's not what we do. 18 months prior to today, we start looking and saying, okay, what can we see coming up in terms of the use of color? Little trends that are starting and we see across different areas. Then we try and pick it up and say, why do we think that's happening? And when we decide finally on the color of the year and the palettes, then bring that to our consumers, bring that to our professional customers, especially architects and interior designers, as a form of inspiration. Because whatever color you use in the end is your choice, of course, and you choose what fits you. Our role is to bring inspiration and ideas to people. So that's what Color Futures is all about. So 18 months ago, we went out to start looking to see what was happening. And we saw a particular color come up, or types of colors. Now, many of you will know that color can affect mood, right? It can affect the way you feel. We also believe the opposite, that the colors that people pick sometimes affect the way they're feeling or about the mood in society. So when we do Color Futures, it's about a color, but it's also about a story of the way people are feeling about their lives. And when we went out this time, what we found was people reaching back. Life's a bit complicated at the minute. If you look at many things that are happening in the world, economically, politically, technologically, you find people thinking this is a bit of a confusing fast-paced world. And one reaction to that is to then try and step back and reach back and kind of simplify your life. And we found people saying, yeah, maybe I just want to step back a bit and grab onto something that's real and something that's meaningful. And that's the idea behind looking at life in a new light. To say, I'm not trying to change my life, but let me look at it again and let me rediscover some of the things, sometimes ordinary things, about our lives that makes it meaningful. And of course, yeah, that means family, that means friends, that means memories, that means nature, that means many of the things that we're close to. In the end, the things that make life worth living. And that seemed to fit really well with us to the color that we saw. And the color that we saw was in the blue area. So it's called denim drift as a color. You'll sometimes find it referred to as smoke gray in the fan deck as well. And it is a kind of bluey gray kind of color and tone. And why would that link to the theme? Well, the color blue, first of all, it's a pretty popular color. I'm just looking around here. How many people here are wearing blue? Yeah, at least half the people in this room are probably wearing blue somewhere in their eye. It's a very popular color, particularly for men actually, but also for ladies as well. And it's what you call an everyday color because it appears in many different parts of our lives when you look around. So it's a common color. But also, what are the associations? What does blue do to the body or do to the mind when you look at blue? It's a relaxing color. It generally relaxes people. And also, it's a thoughtful color. It's a bit of an introspective color. Now, when people think, and you're trying to have a deep thought, what do most people do?
where do you look? Do you look down? Yeah, you look up, right? You look up at the sky. And if you weren't quite concentrating in school and you were daydreaming, where were you looking, right? You're looking up here, right? So the association with blue is gazing into the sky quite often. And that's why it's relaxing on the eye, because you're on the horizon. Also, the blue of the sea. Sea is a very meaningful blue. It has depth, it has meaning, it has all these things associated with it. So that's what blue, we feel, brings us kind of cool introspection, thinking about life again in a new light. And particularly the light blues is what we found coming up. So blue is a great color. It is the color of life. It's the color of everyday life. We find it all around us, in our clothes, in our homes, and in different places. It is a color that, as I said, is soothing and restful on the way that it works on the mind, on the eyes, on the body. But it has this element of being crisp and fresh, not particularly boring as well, because of its association with the sky and the sea and with parts of nature. Now, what you're seeing here are images from our Color Futures materials. So the first palette that we have, and you'll see it in the materials, is the way to use different blues together. This is a tonal palette of blues. All of them involve denim drift, but we've paired it with other colors as well, because Color Futures is also a tool. It's a tool for interior designers, for architects, for consumers to look at, and if they want to, they can use the palettes as they are, because they're all matched, or they can use it as a form of inspiration to say, okay, I'll take this and I'll go forwards. And we make this material freely available to online to everybody, so that they can have inspiration from it. So when we look at ways to use blue, need to also make it interesting. It is an everyday color, so if you're not careful, it can get boring. But in simple, playful ways, it can be chic, like you see here. And it has this sense of meaning for us, because it is this everyday color which pops up in many aspects of our lives. Now, the blue spectrum runs, of course, all the way from deep, dark blues, you might call inky blues, like you see here, all the way through.
Need to begin the journey of colors. Let's get ready, where we say, see life in the new light.
Incorporated in several different ways. So Rajiv, what do you think? What should people expect to see life in a new light like in 2017?
Yes, Farhan. I think, as Jeremy just alluded a while ago in the presentation, even our experts think that this is the overriding trend for 2017. Mm-hmm. And hence, the denim drift is the color of the year for 2017. One of the things about denim drift is the color palette it offers. So it offers colors which is going to range starting from something like as dark as indigo blue, right, to something which is as light as a denim blue that we wear. So right, that's the beauty of the color. Mm. And it is, like we said,
it is the color of the year. So we look forward to really making this very large and bringing it into the lives of peoples and homes very soon.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Jeremy, I really, really like the theme of life in a new light. And I personally believe that colors usually, for me, speak louder than words. And this one specifically, I think is really promising and very, very exciting. So I wanted to know, how do you see the Dulux color of the year, denim drift? How do you see it influencing us to see things in a new light?
Thanks, Shraddha. I think what's nice is everyone can take this one very personally, very quickly, right? Because we all have different things that are special for us in our life. And so we see people, the minute the theme gets explained, saying, yeah, okay, I think what I can do in my life to reach back to the things which are important to me. And the color just represents that really nicely, in the way that it creates it. So we would expect, and we hope that people will start to use it, I think not only in their rooms and their interiors, but also in their clothes and other things as well.
Actually, I have a bit of a denim fixation, and I'm going to say something really cheesy right now, but like how our hashtag is life in a new light. And if I incorporate it a bit more into my wardrobe, I think next year I'll have a hashtag Shraddha in a new light.
And I understand you are a little bit influential in these things with all your followers, so I think they might copy you too, right?
I'll try.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it is. And Farhan,
Right.
as a very creative individual yourself, how do you feel about the color and what?
Well, I do like it very much. It is a color that I'm very comfortable wearing. It is a color that really does occupy the majority of my wardrobe. It is something that I think it has an energy that's really reflected in our world in so many different ways. It's a color that's a part of our life. It's a color that comforts us. If we wear it, and I think probably even more when we have it on our walls and as a part of our life, to kind of just keep our mood as calm as we like this color to be.
Yeah.
Also, apart from that, I think it's a very fun color. So was that also the intention?
Yes, Farhan, I think that's true. I think the color is meant to be very versatile. It drives, both personification of beauty and capturing the mood of the moment, as Jeremy alluded in the presentation.
Right.
It's quite timeless, and we believe that it's a color of life. Of course, it's also the color of the Indian cricket team.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Which is life for some people.
which is life for a lot of people, right? So with that, really, I think we really think that hence denim drift is very relevant in the country, and we believe in 2017 denim drift will make a lot of resonance in the markets with our brands and really capture the mind and imagination and hopefully also the homes of all the people with Dulux as we go forward.
Wonderful.